In the first reading, Moses boasted. He said, "No other nation is as wise and prudent as this great nation." What great nation is that has his God so near as the Lord our God is to us whenever we call to him? And what great nation is there that has laws and custom to match this whole law that I put before you today? My dear brothers and sisters, is it true that the laws and customs that God has given to us, they are truly wise and give direction for life? Certainly, this is not what the world thinks. The world today do not believe in the laws of God, in the commandments of God. The world thinks that religion enslaves people because of the laws in the scriptures. That is why today people advocate total freedom. They say if man would be happy, they must be totally free from all laws, especially religious laws, divine laws. My dear brothers and sisters, the truth is this: the world, in rejecting God, only subscribes to relativism because they think that the laws of God takes away the joy in their life. And so for the world, there are no laws. They themselves are the laws. And because of this, the world does not know what is right and wrong. Or rather, they don't believe that anything is right or wrong. It is a question of public opinion, of consensus, so that they can have the freedom to do whatever they want. It is a question of pragmatism, not of truth. Then how can, my dear brothers and sisters, Jesus in today's gospel said, "I tell you solemnly, the man who infringes even one of the least of these commandments and teaches others to do the same will be considered the least in the kingdom of heaven." The truth is that for us Christians, we believe that the laws are truly the wisdom of God. St. Augustine put it so beautifully. St. Augustine said, "The laws of God are written on the tablets because man cannot recognize the laws in their hearts." That is why St. Paul says, "The law is good and holy." The laws are meant to guide us, to give us direction in life. Today in the responsorial psalm, we read, "He sent his word to the earth and swiftly runs his commands." The word that God has sent to us is effective in helping us to live a happy life. So the real problem is not the question of the laws, it's how we interpret the laws, how we understand the laws. So this is very important. The laws themselves are good and holy, as St. Paul says. It's how we want to apply the laws in our lives. So from the outset, let us make it clear. When we use the singular form of the word law, we mean all the teachings and customs that Moses imparted to the people. That is what the law means. But under this broad term of the law, there are many laws. The foundational laws are the Decalogue, the 10 Commandments. They give us the principles of life. These principles of life do not change. That's why the 10 Commandments will always be perpetually applicable at all times, in all occasions, for every nation, because the 10 Commandments are dealing with two fundamental principles: love of God and love of neighbor. So these 10 Commandments do not change with time. That is why when the scribe asked Jesus, "What is the greatest commandment?" Jesus told him, "Love God, your neighbor, and yourself." And St. Paul tells us in Romans, love is the fulfillment of the law. But after the Decalogue, we have the next set of laws, which we find in the book of Leviticus. They are called Levitical laws. Levitical laws concerned with rituals, ceremonies. These laws can change over time. Like for us, the Christian liturgy has replaced the Jewish liturgy because Jesus is the perfect sacrifice. Even in our own Catholic liturgy is a living reality. The way we worship has evolved over time, and it will continue to evolve. So, even liturgical laws can change. Then we have the third set of laws. We call the second law. This we find in the book of Deuteronomy. Deutero means second set of laws. What are these second set of laws? These are the laws that Moses gave to the people because Israel was not simply the people of God. Israel was also a state. And therefore, you need to govern the people. You need to have rules and regulation. Put this way, these are considered civil laws. Again, civil laws in the country can change. Adapting to the situation, the needs of the people, they are not permanent. According to the times, according to the needs, the laws can change. So this is what we call the civil laws. And so at the end of the day, it is not a question of whether the laws are good or irrelevant. It is how we interpret the law. It's observing the spirit of the law that has been laid down in the Decalogue. Love of God, love of neighbor, and love of self. This is the spirit of the law. That is why Jesus in the gospel said, do not imagine that I have come to abolish the law of the prophets. I have not come to abolish, but to complete them. To complete them means to give us the spirit of the way we interpret these laws. Once you have the right spirit, then you will know how to apply the laws accordingly. One case in point is the way Jesus interprets the Sabbath laws. Sabbath is made for man, not for God. And therefore, for a greater good, Jesus would even break the Sabbath law. And so this is very important for us. If we want to live our life meaningfully, then let us always remember the fundamental principles and then ask ourselves in every situation, how do we apply these laws intelligently? But having said that, I must conclude, just because you know the laws, even the spirit of the laws, St. Paul tells us in Romans 7, it doesn't mean you can act on them because we are weak. We are human beings. We need the spirit of Jesus. The real law, at the end of the day, is not the laws written on tablets. It is the Holy Spirit. This is the law that is written in our hearts. And what we need to ask for really is the spirit of Jesus in us.